Well, I was going to ask you what you thought about I think that story in the Times should cause everybody here great concern. I understand what happens in the domestic psychology of the areas we do here and there, but it could be particularly suffering hurts politically, we get into that.
But really only short term, none of it matters later.
What I mean is the campaign. They'll pull out and drag out this or that, but most people just whining around.
Oh, like banana.
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap. And so forth. That's the most unbelievable thing. That's treasonable due to the fact that it's aide, the enemy, there's an enemy. And it really is classified documents. It's got to be remembered how much we made out of his case. A few little pumpkin sealers
Slipping little stuff for one guy.
10 years old. But turning stuff over to the enemy pushes. This turns it over to the enemy and puts the whole damn thing right out there in the paper. I'm concerned about Henry's staff still, I don't have the confidence because I asked him, I said, no, look here, it's got Miguel
Over at Murray,
Geo.
Yeah, I know.
Brookings.
Over at Brookings. Well, they knew he had all these files. This was the thing.
Why didn't we go get them?
Well, remember I talked to you about that a year ago. Tom Houston was all alarmed and was in here and said they have all this file and everything. They've got it over at Brookings. They've moved it out of the Defense Department, copies out of the Defense Pentagon, took the whole file over there. And he argued, and we had some discussions about it. He argued that what we should do is send some people in on a routine. They have a secure safe over there to hold this stuff in. Move some people in on a routine security check, find the stuff in it, and confiscate it and walk out. And
Why didn't we do it?
I don't know. But this sure shows. I'm not sure, as a matter of fact, that this is precisely the same material. There is other material there too.
I think this must be there.
Now, but there's a lot of copies of this, and there's some other stuff that there are only 3 copies of, one of which is over at Brookings, according to Houston. Houston is an alarmist, but Dick Allen was an alarmist when he said we ought to cut out Simington's investigation. I think this and Paul, and we didn't do that. And we've been hurt badly by it.
We have. Henry has been wrong. There's another that's involved. This is Haldeman thing.
That's right. Halpern and Gell have been working together.
How much does Halpern know? What does he know about the magistracy?
I'm not sure.
Henry talks an awful lot. He gets the passion for talking, telling people what he's doing. For your staff, that's just 4 times as great an opportunity for a legal need for you. You can see on the translator.
The way to get him on that is just to remind him who he took with him to Paris.
Lake.
And is he really happy that Tony Lake is bouncing around?
So they never had information.
Well, plus, and it's more dangerous now, in my view. It wasn't as dangerous when he was working for Muskie as it is now, because now he's out of the job.
Right.
Therefore, I'm sure he wouldn't leak it. He wouldn't use that information. Well, bullshit. If you'd have
Bob, he thought Hopkins was on. Remember? Remember, he told him and said he was very bright. And he thought he was on.
Brightest guy I've got. You can't make me fire. That's right. We finally did.
That's right. And he was not honorable. He was not honorable. And he was guilty. Remember, Edgar Hoover was right now. Remember, he was the one that put the finger on him.
The bugs showed that. Yeah. The taps showed that.
Neil Sheehan at the time was a bastard. He's been a bastard for years on Vietnam. He got this stuff and they
working on it a long time. Klein says the team that's on it has been on he's checked back now, that the team has been on leave or has been submerged for 3 months.
Boy, if I were the publisher of a big, that's great newspaper, I would put this in. Buying top secret information.
I don't understand why we don't. I understand, I mean, hey, doesn't, we've got to not react and all.
Not so sure of that.
But what's the use of the classification system? Why the hell do we classify anything if a newspaper feels no compunctions about printing it?
That's when to react. Let me say that we'll get the war thing when we get it done. Then I think the thing to do is to see just put down and find out what the statute of limitations are. I think there's plenty long on this sort of thing. I think we can do much there. But if the statute of limitations is a year, and we've got a year, I know it'll be shorter than that. And we just go in and put the subpoena all these bastards and bring the case and just give it a panel. Do some checking in it, but what I'm concerned about Bob is Henry's staff and his people, you know. As he went over and talked to the Brookings people himself, I warned him about it. I said, Henry, don't go over there. You know, I said, those people, that's the Democratic National Committee. That's right. We don't have one friend in Brookings, Bob. Now, would you please remind George Schultz that Charlie Schultz is the guy at Brookings? You understand? So do you still want Charlie Schultz around? Okay. They play the game that way, Bob. They are a bunch of bastards. They'll lie, cheat, anything, and then squeal what somebody else does. See, basically, that's what gets back in the whole his syndrome. The intellectuals all defended this because basically they have no morals.
But listening to it clearly, it seems to me, it hurts us in that it puts the war back up into a higher attention level, but the facts in it
hurt the other side.
Don't hurt us politically so much, they hurt the others. But what they really hurt, and this is what the intellectuals and why the motivation of the Times must be, is it hurts the government. What it says is, Rumsfeld was making this point this morning, what it says is, to the ordinary guy, all this is a bunch of gobbledygook. But out of the gobbledygook comes a very clear thing, which is you can't trust the government, you can't believe what they say, and you can't rely on their judgment. And the implicit infallibility of presidents, which has been an accepted thing in America, is badly hurt by this, because it shows that people do things the president wants to do even though it's wrong, and the president can be wrong.
And I was going to cry out. Suppose all the elements of Roosevelt's involvement in documents of the World War II ever came out. You know, how he knew what was happening. He did it deliberately. And the Pearl Harbor thing was undoubtedly.
Well, you had that one article by that admiral, what's his name, that U.S. News carried that told that whole story, but it was never official. And it could be discredited because it was just one guy's testimony. This stuff is out of official files. You can't discredit this stuff.
Well, so much for that. The story's out. There's nothing we can do about it. I guess.
My feeling is that we shouldn't. At least Haig's urging was that we shouldn't do anything about it.
Why?
Until we know see what we've got, and that by doing anything we would only escalate it more.
I think he's right.
It'll be interesting to see now how the other papers and the TV and all pick this up, but I can't imagine they're going to let us see it,
frankly.
I would think they'd be doing white papers on it and everybody would leak into it. I mean, Christ, it's just grist for the mill that won't quit.
We have to see from the usual PR and the weapons and the rest, because
the other interesting thing would be to see what the Times decides to print and what they don't. They picked an interesting time, and chronologically they didn't start at the beginning. They chronologically started at Tonkin, and it's interesting to contemplate why. Beginning stuff is all there.
I mean, the Kennedy gun. They won't do anything. The Ron and Lee have got to be covered with regard to our relations with the Times. I just feel that very strongly. I just feel that when you've got a paper that will be this irresponsible, goddamn, don't give them anything. And Frankel all the time, he's bad, you know, don't give him anything. I don't want anything done, obviously, but I just want to cool with those damn people because of their disloyalty to the country. Can you really, it's really hard to understand a legal bunch of left-wingers trying to do this. I mean, look, you could imagine that. You could justify, say, a Goldwater trying to go after Johnson for lying before 64 or something he was going to do. See, there's politically, it makes Johnson look terrible.
Johnson and Rostow end up
pretty bad.
total disaster.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you could look at the president, that isn't what they're doing. This is a bunch of goddamn left-wingers who are trying to destroy everything.
Because of that, there's going to be, I'm sure, a wash that runs through here that will say that we put it out in an attempt to...
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. The surface, the apparent damage here is not to us, it's to the Democrats.
Yeah.
But the real damage is...
Well, I'll tell you what to do. I don't agree with these little boys around here. I mean, your staff doesn't know anything about things like this law. You know what I mean? They have the intentions, but not the judgment because they haven't been true enough. Tell you what I want done. Get the story out on the Yelp right away. Get a columnist choose. I want that out. That's the way to kill the other. You understand how to do that? Just say, I mean, get Houston. Get all the facts together. Get Buchanan to get the story. Get Lasky right. Fair enough. Or anybody else you can get it right. Middle of the story. Most of us, but, you know, anybody doesn't make any difference. You can get that story out now. That's what they have. And charge Brookings. Let's get Brookings involved in this. Get Brookings involved. Another way to do it, rather than having to do that, is to have a senator raise the beach in the Senate floor. He's privileged. And charge the whole thing. See? That might be better than have a column.
The senator with the guts to do it.
Anybody is all right to do it, except Goldwater and Bergman, because those two are incredible.
Goldwater to do it.
Yeah.
Dole probably would, but yeah, I think you want
I want Dole. Dole shouldn't be used, but anybody else. But let's have a little fun. A congressman's all right in this one, because that'd be a senator. I don't want to do it, make himself famous. It has to be done. Let's smoke Brookings out. Smoke them out. And the way to do it is through a speech, probably better than an argument at home. See, they can talk in forums privilege. They can't be sued. Charged and guilt, use his name, have the information. He leaked it. Charge should be brought against him. See? Can you get Houston? Is he around?